Welcome back to Cypress Bayou Boerboels. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you can have access to our latest content. So we've been getting questions, and I'm trying to do follow-up videos for people to help out, you know, with as much information as I can provide. One of the main questions we've been getting a lot is, how do I feel about the 200+ pound dogs, the huge Boerboels? So here's the thing. In the beginning, I loved the huge dog. And let me tell you what I did. I went on Instagram and I went on Facebook and I saw this huge dog, this huge bad dog. And I was like, I want that. That's what I want. I'm a man's man. I like tools. I like fast cars. I like big guns. I like motorcycles. Yeah, I want a big dog, right? I didn't know anything about dogs. I just knew I wanted that. So I like a big dog. Don't get me wrong. Okay. But here's something to think about. Do you think it's coincidental that you never see a 200-pound Boerboel do anything? Okay. Now, there's a lot of videos out there. There's a lot of people that say, hey, look, he's 200 pounds, 200-pound Boerboel, big Boerboel. That's great. And the dogs look good. But you never see him do anything besides being on a leash or in your living room or just standing in the backyard. Kind of like this, what Chapo's doing right here. You're never going to see him do anything. The reason is because they can't, okay? Now, I'm not saying that the dogs don't get 200 pounds. It's kind of like this. Let me give you a reference. You know, there's a bunch of 7-foot+ people in the world, right? But very rarely will you run into a Shaquille O'Neal or Kevin Garnett person, or Kevin Durant, people that have that ability to do that physically and athletic skills, right? And it's the same thing with the dogs. Nowadays, breeders are breeding for big dogs. That's a major selling point. Big dog, I have a big dog, I have a big dog. And everybody that's calling, they want the big dog. They want the fattest puppy. But I don't know why, for some reason, people want their puppies to be fat. And the breeders will really kill it if they just start feeding their dogs Krispy Kreme and hot dogs. You'd have so many customers if you just feed them Krispy Kreme and hot dogs. It's crazy. But yeah, and I don't understand that. In the beginning, when the Boerboel was created for its purpose, the Boerboels were not 200 pounds. Boerboels were 130 pounds, okay? The reason is because they need to be able to cover ground. They need to be able to have stamina and agility and endurance, okay? You know, they were designed, well, they were war dogs when the Dutch brought them over, okay? And then they became protection dogs for ranchers, you know, large ranchers in Africa against, you know, major predators, lions, poachers, whatever the threat may be. You know, you got a pack of 10 Boerboels, pack of 20 Boerboels, they can handle themselves as a pack. But they need to be able to cover ground, okay? They need to be able to do all of the things, the functioning things that a true working dog does. He needs to be able to jump in the back of my pickup truck, okay? He needs to be able to do these kind of things. He needs to be able to hurdle and maintain and deal with obstacles. And it's hard for a 200-pound dog to do that. That's why you don't see 200-pound dogs do anything. The most you will see from a 200-pound dog on the videos is running with his owner. And that video is going to last a minute because it's going to be a reel, and the reel is a minute long. So you're not going to see him running 2 or 3 miles, or not even 1 mile. You never see a 200-pound Boerboel do anything. Do they look great? Absolutely. I'm not denying that. I like the way that they look. But as a breeder, I see things differently. He's too big. Okay. Now, the bigger the dog is, the more everything declines. Okay. What do I mean by that? There's a higher chance of him having health issues. You know, heart issues, joint issues, mainly in the big dog. You know, that they have issues because they're so big. So the bigger the dog, the easier it is for him to either injure himself or just naturally have regular wear and tear on his joints. Also, the life expectancy goes down. The bigger the dog, the shorter the life expectancy. The smaller the dog, small dogs live 20+ years, 20 years. Big dogs don't. So again, as a breeder, I'm looking at things differently. You know, in the beginning, I like the big dog because, again, that's what the public flocks to. You know, everybody wants a big dog. If somebody calls, from the time that they're puppies, they want the biggest. They don't care if the dog has heart disease. They don't care if the dog is blind. They don't care if the dog doesn't have any teeth. They just want him big. So I see things differently now. You know, we want to have functioning dogs that can actually do things. A good way to me is, well, Chapo's not here now. Chapo, that was just standing here with me. Chapo was 175 pounds. Well, he may be 170. 170. And I say 175, he may be 170 now. We kind of cut him a little bit on his weight. Lobo, my big black dog that everybody likes, Lobo is 185. Okay. Now, two completely different dogs. Lobo cannot do the things that Chapo can do. Okay. Chapo can run from one end of the property, sprint all the way back. Okay. This is 100 acres we sit on. Chapo can do that, and he doesn't want to lay down. Lobo can't do that. Chapo can jump in the bed of my F-350. Lobo can't do that. Now, he might be able to do it if he really wanted to, but he's just not at that point where he's doing that. He doesn't have the endurance, the strength, and the stamina as Chapo. Now, Lobo's big. If they got into a fight, that might be a different situation. I don't know. You know, if Lobo catches you in a little bathroom, yeah, he'll chew you up. But can he cover ground and attack a threat or do a protection job? You know, our driveway is a quarter-mile long. Can he sprint all the way down there if something's wrong? I don't know if he'll do that. I know Chapo will. I've seen him do it plenty of times. So, yeah, completely different. Chapo, his gait, his stride is beautiful. He covers a lot of ground when he runs, and he's very fast. He's faster than Lobo. He's just, you know, it's different type of dog, you know, completely different. And as a breeder, I'm looking at that, you know, and the consumer doesn't really think about that. Some of them do if they're looking for working dogs. But again, the average consumer just wants a big dog. But I think it's very important for you to think about that. Do you want a big dog, or do you want to, you know, sacrifice a little bit of weight and get a dog that's more functional, that you'll get more out of, a true working dog, which is what a Boerboel is supposed to be. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. Now, some of y'all might not agree with this. And listen, I know some of y'all have 200-pound dogs, and you're going to hit me up in my inbox and say, hey, my dog is 200 pounds and he does all of this stuff. That's fine. I'm not saying they don't exist. What I am saying is we never see it. We won't see it. I mean, we got the internet now, so the chances are you will see it, but you never see it. You never see a 200-pound working dog on a ranch. You never see a 200-pound dog helping herd cattle. You never see a 200-pound dog going for a 2-mile run. You never see a 200-pound dog jumping a 5 or 6 foot fence. You'll see him do football hits, and you'll see him be aggressive and muscling things around, but no. They can pull. They'll do great in Alaska with the Eskimos for pulling sleds. But what are you pulling with your dog? You know, I mean, if you got a job where you're pulling stuff all the time, great. But other than that, though, I think it's something to think about. That's my take on the 200-pound plus dogs. Again, I like the way they look. I'd love to have one, but from a breeder's perspective, I mean, I'm not a consumer. I'm a breeder. I see things differently. We're looking at functionality, and we're looking at health and just longevity of the dog. I do not think that the 200-pound dog is the way to go. And again, the breeder has gotten dogs to this point because the consumer, they want big dogs, big dogs, big dogs. And the breeder, that's what he's looking for. A lot of times you got a lot of breeders, they're not looking at everything else. They're looking at who's the biggest. Mom over here, she's 140 pounds. Okay, I don't want to breed her. I don't want to get her and breed her. She's not big enough. I'm looking for a female that's 180 pounds, which is basically 60 pounds overweight of what she should be. But they're looking for that. And then dad needs to be 190 pounds. And then from there, we're going to feed these puppies as much as possible and make them look good on the gram and on social media. And then hopefully they'll be big. They should be big puppies. And that's my take on the 200-pound Boerboel. So Cypress Bayou Boerboels, thank you for staying tuned, and catch us on the next one for more